Good morning, West Rocks. Hope everyone is having a wonderful Wednesday. And hopefully we remembered our Wednesday blues. Throughout the month of April, we are wearing blue on Wednesday to raise awareness for autism. And all proceeds for our blue shirts will go towards autism awareness, a campaign and research for the disease. So first, thank you for joining this morning. This is our 8th grade assembly, virtual assembly, to really establish expectations now that we are 3/4 of the way through the year, and we have more students returning than we have had all 2021 school year. Yesterday we had almost 450 students in the building. We have 750 total, so 450 is probably the highest number we've had in quite some time. So as we are re-entering the building, we want to reestablish our expectations, behavioral, academic, and social, and we're ready to finish the year strong. Hannah is in the background today helping out with our presentation and what's this StreamYard, just like she does on Panther News. So at this point, Hannah, if you can share the presentation and we'll go through it a slide at a time. Teachers, as I said earlier, if there are students in person and or you have questions and want to put it in the chat, Ms. Amaral is moderating that, and she'll be able to throw it out on my side, and I'll answer them as we go through if it isn't going to be addressed already within our assembly. Any folks at home, if you have any questions or want to, a follow-up, feel free. You can put that in the chat as well, and Ms. Amaral will put it on my screen so I can talk to that too. So first, grade 8 is the class of 2025. That sounds crazy, right? 2025, because it is 2021. And so 4 years from now, you will be the class of 2025 because that is when you are graduating high school. Believe it or not, you are finishing your middle school career in one quarter. And you will be transitioning into your next 4 years, whether you go to Norwalk High School, whether you're going to P-Tech, CGS, whether you're Brian McMahon or somewhere different. You have 4 more years of your K-12 education. So you are considered the class of 2025. It's amazing, right? If you want to, next slide. So most important part of really today, and I want to make sure that we're all on the same page as we finish the year strong, is being a citizen of West Rocks, right? We talk about citizenship and what that means in the world and in our city and state, Norwalk and the state of Connecticut, and in America. But what does being a citizen mean here at West Rocks? Are you doing your part? Do you demonstrate good character? Do you exhibit service? Do you demonstrate and participate in service, community service? Like this Saturday, we have our spring cleanup and planting. That's 3 hours from 9 to 12. Do you come out and give up your own time for other people? If you want to come out this Saturday, we will have, a clothing drive. We will be picking up, some garbage in the grounds. We will be planting trees. We will be, weeding the gardens, and that will help. That helps our community look better. It helps others. Do you volunteer? Do you work in whether it be a soup kitchen or the church, or what do you do for other people? Leadership, when you're asked to lead or lead by example, or ask to help others, do you do that? And scholarship, are you studying? Are you doing your work? Those are all things that are really important, and that's why each quarter we recognize that those pillars in our house awards. So did you earn one? I know we've had 2. We're going to have a 3rd in just a little bit, because the 3rd quarter actually ends today. So did you earn one, and what do you need to do to exhibit that for quarter 4? So really, we want you to help others. We want you to be prepared for school and class every day. Bottom line is, as we have more students come back, our phones are starting to make an appearance more than they have in the past. I think we have 4 or 5 phones right now in the main office that are waiting for parents to pick them up, and that is only going to grow. So if we continue to make bad choices and you've been given a warning or 2 warnings, if a teacher, administrator, me, Ms. Amaral, Mr. Jackson, does have to confiscate and take your phone and they turn it into the main office, if it is more than the first time, expect your parent or guardian to have to come get it. If it stays over the weekend, it stays over the weekend. It stays over the course of a week. It is what it is. You understand the rules. They should be off or on silent and in your bag. They should not be out at a recess. They should not be out in the hallway. None of those things should happen, and expect, and I'm telling you now, if they do, they will be taken, and ultimately, after your first warning, it will be, a parent is going to have to pick it up. If you do have other concerns, which a lot of outside of the phones or anything like that, but if you do have some issues or some concerns around other students or something like that, please talk to an adult, whether it be your counselor, Mr. Amaya in Delta House, Mr. Cherbo in Beta, Miss Simone in Alpha House, whether you work with Miss Ball and have a relationship with her, any adult, your homeroom teacher, your Miss Amaral, Mr. Jackson, myself. Make sure you reach out and seek out an adult and talk to them if you have any concerns about anything. We also want to respect school and others' property. So we've been doing a pretty good job this year. Hasn't been a whole lot of graffiti, but I have seen some of that in the bathrooms. We are checking, cameras and things like that. So understand you will be held accountable for school's property as well as other people's. So you have your own space, you have your own bag now. You do carry from place to place. Make sure you're respecting your property and others. And I think this is a big one: digital citizenship. We I don't know if you're aware, we have something that's called Gaggle. So I'd say every 12 to 24 hours, there's a software system that checks our Google, all of your Google accounts, and we actually get alerts, whether there's inappropriate language, whether there's images, what searches you've had securely. I know some teachers are using that. That's to help you as students be safe and make good choices, but we're relying on you to do so. So you have a lot of flexibility. You bring your Chromebooks home, you have access to school accounts. Some of you guys are making good choices and really doing a good job with your Chromebooks and the internet and doing your work. Others of you are starting to find things like House Party and things along those lines. And if we do, unfortunately, you're going to lose your ability to be on school devices, and you're going to be back to notebooks. And that'll be beyond you. To be honest, and some of the kids have already come down. They haven't had access to a Chromebook, and we hand them a notebook and a pen. And if that's going to be how we need to finish the year, because that's safe and you'll be able to do your work that way, that's fine too. So just understand you have decisions, and your decisions will dictate how we respond. And that digital citizenship and how you use the internet and your Chromebook is a really important part. All right, Hannah, next. All right, just some general reminders and expectations of routines. You get pause cards. Hopefully you saw that on the Panther News this morning, and you've been saving either your hard copies of your pause cards or the electronic ones. And whether you've exhibited positive interactions, whether you've been accountable, willing, or safe, your teachers have recognized you at some point over this year, and you've been able to maybe even turn it in at the school store for an experience, some extra recess, a T-shirt, some spirit wear. Movie day, I know that was a favorite. The school store is open today too. So you've been recognized for some of your positive behaviors throughout the year so far this year. I do just want to highlight and emphasize these are the areas that we expect you to exhibit our pause expectations. Like, we expect you to be positive, accountable, willing, and safe in all of these areas in gray as you see on the screen. So classrooms. What does a positive interaction in a classroom look like? When you're asked to work together with a peer, how do you interact with respect? Are you nice to each other? Are you kind? You should be. Are you listening to your teacher? Do you raise your hand? Do you move and do things that you're supposed to be doing and adhere to the expectations of the teachers? Are you accountable for your homework? Are you accountable for your classwork? Are you trying your best every day? Are you willing to try? Maybe you've never done something before, but based on technology, and you're given a shot in the beginning of the year. And I'll use teachers as an example. I know some people were really good with Jamboard in the beginning of the year. We actually had some other teachers helping others, and we learned. And by the end of this year, I'm in classrooms virtually and live, and I'm seeing Jamboards all over the place because our teachers were willing to try. Are you willing to do the same thing? And are you being safe? And that goes to our digital citizenship on the internet. And are you wearing your mask? I'm here alone in my office, so I can keep my mask down so you can hear me. But this isn't covering our face when we're in a classroom. This is not covering our face when we're next to each other outside at recess. If you need a mask break, you stay 6 to 10 feet away outside, and that's when your mask break happens. Not down here on the hallway walking through. That's not safe. That's not safe in the classroom either. And that goes to our next part, hallways. And you're going to see a picture in a second, but we walk in the hallways. We do not run in the hallways. And if I was live, I would ask you why. But ultimately, if an adult or other students are walking or stepping out of a classroom or a hallway, and you're running down the hall, somebody could get hurt. So we walk, and we walk on the right side of the hallway. And the only time we're really in the hallway is either transition time when our teacher dismisses us, if we have a pass and we're going from one place to another, whether it be the nurse, the counseling center, or another classroom, or we're going to lunch at the tables or the cafeteria. That's when we're in the hallway and we're walking and we're on the right side and we're keeping our social distance to the best of our ability, right? You see the stickers on the floor, and we're not hanging all over each other. So again, hallways, we're on the right side. We are having our masks on. We're safe. We're walking, and we're quiet because classes are in session. I think some of us are doing a really good job with that. Others have not remembered, because we've been out for so long or another reason, that's how we act in the hallway. Same as the cafeteria. I know some of us are using the cafeteria. Most of us are still in our classrooms to eat, but that goes the same. And if you need to go to the caf and to get food and you're going to sit in there, maintain your social distance, eat, and then return to class. Bathrooms, obviously some of them are taped because of the pandemic. And we can only use certain ones, but you should be washing your hands. Obviously, cleanliness. You should have a pass in there, and we shouldn't be hanging out. And I alluded to before graffiti, but those things have happened in the past. We really haven't had an issue this year with it, but if we do, and somebody is caught, we will hold them accountable. That's defacing school property. So understand that there are some consequences to that too. Recess. I think recess was awesome in the beginning. I think we are still doing a pretty good job, most of us. Some of us are forgetting about this, like I said, the mask. Others of us are maybe talking about each other, maybe getting into certain arguments with our friends because it's free time. But again, just make sure that we're enjoying recess. It is a fun 30 minutes outside. Make sure we're prepared for that. We're staying safe. We're playing organized games. And if you need any help, make sure you ask one of the adults outside. I guess the final part of recess is when we line up, when we walk over to where the portables are and where our hand washing machine stations are, make sure we're waiting for our teachers to come outside. Our teachers are, not necessarily by the doors. Make sure they're outside, waiting for you outside. Line up with your teachers, and you walk in. And your teacher is the one who lets you in. You don't just run in. There are classrooms in session, whether it be the two portable classrooms or inside. Make sure you're waiting for your class and your teacher to walk inside. Bus. And you got your bus passes yesterday. There's some information out there that I can share with your parents too to track you. What app. But make sure we're keeping our social distance. We keep our hands to ourselves. We're listening to our bus driver as we go, and we're making sure we're paying attention to our stops. And our volume is relatively low, so the driver can make sure everyone's safe on the bus. And finally, our virtual environment, I mentioned that before, but we're positive and we're interacting, whether it be in our Google Meet, our Google Classroom. We're doing things that we're supposed to be doing, and we're accountable for all of our work and what we're posting, whether it be in a chat, on a Google Doc, some of the things that we're uploading and using and seeing, and we're being safe. If you do those things, hopefully you'll be recognized by a teacher or staff with applause card, and that you can turn in at the store. All right, next, Hannah. All right, what does it look like? So if you look at the picture on the left, you might recognize one of our sixth graders, CK. He has demonstrated what one part of our dress code. We do want to dress for success, and an important part of this is no hoods. I came on a couple weeks ago and we reminded everybody of that. The reason there's no hoods is because we need to see your face. All right, no hoods, no hats. I've started getting a collection of hats that I'm going to keep till June, after June 18th. And if I continue to see that, I may give you a warning. Maybe your teacher gives you a warning. If it continues, I just take them and I give them back to you. I'm not going to keep them. I'll give them back to you in June. But there's no hoods, there's no hats, and I'm reminding you of that too. Also, as you see CK's shoes on the left, we do want, there's no slides. Just because if there's ever an evacuation, you got to be safe and we got to have something on the back. If you want to wear Crocs, we can wear Crocs because we can put the strap on the back. But there's got to be shoes. There's no slides. All right, so we're dressing appropriately. As the weather gets warmer, understand that your shorts shouldn't be too short. If you're not sure, if your hands go down on the side, they really should be around fingertip length. And there shouldn't be anything inappropriate as far as writing goes or anything like that on your shirt. So understand that if we make bad choices and we don't do those things, we will either have you change. We'll send, contact a parent, or let you borrow some clothes, just to make sure we're adhering to the policy. If you notice in the middle, You'll see the students are walking on the right side up and then the right side down. Please do that, especially as we have more kids in the building. We want to make sure we're staying on the right side of the stairwell, as well as on the picture on the right side of the hall. And you'll also notice on the right side of the hall, they are walking and they have masks on, which is what I just emphasized. Okay, next slide. So we're all accountable for keeping West Rock safe and caring. Lead by example, do the right thing, regardless if one of your peers is not. Take responsibility. And this kind of leads into understand that as eighth graders finishing up your middle school career, you get it. You understand what you need to do, and also understand that there are consequences if you don't. I'm not going to come out here and say I'm looking or anybody's looking to get you in trouble, but if you do make bad choices, understand your teachers first will hold you accountable, whether it be a contact home, whether it be a teacher detention, hold you in for recess, which has happened throughout the year. If that's not working and the behavior repeats, understand there's going to be maybe some after school detentions. Those are happening and those are real, whether it be the office or with Mr. Jackson. We also have Saturday detentions. Again, if those behaviors aren't changing, we started it last week from 8:15 to 10:45. You come in on Saturday, and there'll be a teacher here who facilitates, and you can do some schoolwork there if our behavior really isn't changing. We also have ultimately, you may not be able to be here for a couple days. You might have to go remote only for a little bit if those behaviors continue. And finally, understand we have end of the year coming up. And we have a lot of end of the year activities. We have a virtual field trip for eighth graders. We have promotion coming up. We just found out we are going to have a live in-person promotion. It's going to be on that last Wednesday on the 16th. It is actually, and your parents probably don't even know this yet because I just found out yesterday afternoon, so you're first to find out. It's going to be live and it's going to be at Norwalk High School. So you are going to have promotion. It's going to be live. You're going to have limited guests, but that's all up in the air. So if we can't, maintain our behavior, we won't actually be able to participate in something as special as promotion and some of our end of year activities, which we're planning outside, including field day. And we're looking at the eighth grade experience. We're going to see what we can do, even if it's bumped out past promotion, whether it's outside or not. Those are all things that are up in the air. So understand that your behavior will dictate your eligibility, whether or not you could participate in it. So think about that as we're making choices throughout the rest of this year. All right, next slide. Academics, finish strong. You got 1 quarter left. You can do it. I know your teachers are working incredibly hard and making sure their lessons are engaging. I'm on a lot of Google Classrooms, just like Ms. Amaral, and we are getting reminders from teachers that you get too. You got to remember to finish this. You haven't submitted this. Make sure you're maintaining your grades, your performance tasks, your tests and quizzes. You're studying your extra help, homework, classwork. You're participating. Ames Web. We have our spring Ames Web, both reading in your ELA classes and Ames Web and math over the next few days into the beginning of next week. This is going to determine how much you grew in that area from the beginning of the year to the middle of the year. Try your best. Don't belabor it. Just try your best. Give it full effort. It will be one data point area that we're going to look at if, in order to determine Summer Academy. It's not the only one. If you got really good grades and you just don't do well, it doesn't mean you're automatically going to Summer Academy. But if you do need it, we are going to use it as information. Also enrichment and gifted and talented. Those are all areas that we use Ames Web for, so try your best. Couple weeks, we're going to do fitness testing. It's going to be 1 per grade level. And fitness testing really is going to be, we're going to do it like a field day. So we're going to have different events, and then we're going to finish the day as competition per grade level outside with some games and stuff. So it'll be a fun day. And finally, we're going to finish with SBAC. We really want you to try your best. It'll be a morning. It'll be a special schedule. But we want to show, and you'll be able to show what you know, or maybe some gaps, especially in our last year remote, before you head off into high school. So what's your goal for each class? You want to get straight A's? Have you not really gotten any A's and you really just hoping for B's? Are you trying to make high honors? Are you trying to make honors? What are you trying to make? Because you have 1 quarter left. As of today, today's the last day of quarter 3. You have 1 quarter left. What are you going to do to finish out your middle school career academically? All right, Hannah. Attendance. As you know, we talk about remote present, live in person, present face-to-face, engaged or not, you got to be here. Our counselors, myself, Ms. Amaral, Mr. Jackson, your teachers, we have attendance meetings every week. We look at all students, and we've been even making home visits for, we've shown up to your house if you haven't been here. For those students who have done a really good job of logging in if you're remote only, or you've shown up in person, great job. Keep it up. You got 1 quarter left. For those people who have been up and down, make an effort to be here every day, finish out the year strong, and or log in on time, and keep your camera on. Engage in it. Don't just turn your camera on or log into a homeroom and disappear. We really need you to engage in order to learn, because that's the only way you'll be able to grow academically or socially and interact with others. So you got to be here. Attendance is really important. Okay, Hannah? And just to finish up, what will you contribute, right? After all this, you got 1 quarter left. Some of you guys may or may not be able to come on this Saturday. That's one way to contribute. Are you going to help out with your friend who really is kind of going through a tough time, and you're going to be there for him or her, and maybe even help with an adult? Are you going to contribute academically because you're going to try your best in all these assessments? You're not going to miss an assignment, and you're really going to do a good job. Are you going to help out a teacher who needs help, distributing papers, or you're going to join in a chat, or redirect a friend, or help out at recess? What are you going to do? How are you going to make our community better? All right, Hannah, if you want to end the slideshow, I'm just going to thank you for your help today. Just to end, just a couple more things. Please understand you have 1 quarter of the year left in your 8th grade experience before you go to high school. All teachers, all staff at West Rocks just wants to make sure that you finish out the year strong. We are working hard to plan events that make it fun, even if we have limitations, whether it's a virtual field trip, whether it be a field day, whether it be the live promotion ceremony, how yearbooks are going to be. Can we have an 8th grade event? 2 years ago, we were able to go to My Three Sons and rent it out, and it was a blast. Years past, it was a dance. Can we have something outside? I know seniors, I know high schools actually are allowed to have proms. Can we have something like that for 8th grade? We want to do what we can to make your last quarter of your experience wonderful at West Rocks, and you leave on a really high note, regardless of how the last year of the pandemic went. But we need you to meet us halfway. We need you to understand how to walk in the hallways, what classroom expectations are. When you get here in the morning, you come in, you grab breakfast on the way, and you go to homeroom. You're not hanging out. When we dismiss, you're not hanging out in the hallway. You're walking, getting on a bus, or getting picked up. You are recognizing what it means to get a pause card, helping underclassmen, 6th or 7th graders if they need help. You're doing all the things that we want you to do as a West Rock student, and be a leader as we finish out the year. And who knows, maybe if you never made honor roll, maybe you'll make honor roll for quarter 4. That'd be a great way to finish. Maybe get a house award for quarter 3. Maybe you do something that you haven't been able to do and or help others. So thank you for joining today. It is 8:55. I think we have covered everything. I've adjusted everything, and you guys are bright kids. You've been here for a few years. You understand it. And let's finish the year strong. Ms. Amaral said there's no real questions. So if you want to talk to your teachers about it afterward, or you're thinking about it throughout the day, and questions come up about something I said, or you're not really sure, think about it. You can talk to any of your teachers throughout the day. And if they want to drop Ms. Amaral and myself a line or an email, or talk to us about it, we can address those and talk later on today, tomorrow, or as a faculty, make sure you get the answers that you need. With that, have a great Wednesday. And have a great Thursday and Friday. I know the weather's going to change a little bit, and I hope to see as many kids and people. Feel free to come with your families, or just get dropped off on Saturday from 9 to 12 for our cleanup and planting, as well as if you have any clothes to donate. That is actually a fundraiser for us. And keep wearing that blue on Wednesday. Have a great day, guys.